Hey y'all, we are back with another dense update. Here we go. Now I'm sure when y'all woke up on New Year's Day and opened up Instagram, your algorithm was full of goodbye to 2024. Can't wait to see what 2025 has in store. Every post as you scrolled. Hi. I was ready to say goodbye to 2024 and hello to 2025 to leave all of the craziness and the drama that 2024 brought behind us. However, 2025 is already starting off with a little bit of drama. On New Year's Day, Spin was on Around the Whiteboard, which is a show that Coffee Pods and Wads does, joined with other special guests, Matt O'Keefe and Dallin Pepper, where they debated back and forth some topics about the World Fitness Project. First question being, will the World Fitness Project and CrossFit Games impact each other? Which we already know they do because we're talking about them. But nonetheless, Matt O'Keefe, of course, praising the World Fitness Project, more opportunities for them to compete throughout the season. I mean, did we really think he would say anything negative about a potential new opportunity for him to slide in and capitalize on? I don't think so. Where the Barbell Spin played a little bit of devil's advocate and voiced his concerns for the fact that the very first tour event for the World Fitness Project is going to be happening right in the middle of the in-person semifinals. Every single year over year, the regionals or the in-person semifinals have always started sometime around the end of April going into May. The reason I know that is because every one that I ever attended just so happened to be on Memorial Day weekend or the weekend before that. We don't have any dates. We don't know where things are going to be. We don't know what the timeline is. Yeah, but we do know that the Open pretty much is always February or March. And then we know in-person semifinals are always around May, maybe sliding into the beginning of June. And the Games is always in August. Come on, guys. Let's not act like we don't know anything. We don't know what to expect at all. Now, Dallin Pepper came out real hot.
Everyone's in the same boat. We all have to change how we're training differently if you want to make it in the online qualifier or the online semifinal. Don't suck. And honestly, if Spin thinks this is not a good thing, he needs to pull his head out of his ass because it's going to benefit him too.
Boy, did that seem like he was taking a jab at Spin. As the show went on, things kind of simmered down. Everyone was very cordial. It was good conversation, good debates back and forth. Spin did bring up some good points in regards to media and live stream and how they're going to get eyeballs on the sport. And Dallin had said something along the lines that the World Fitness Project has made it very clear that they are going to put a big emphasis on creating storylines and the media surrounding the World Fitness Project. And plans are plans. Until they're actually executed, it doesn't really mean anything. So there were always big storylines within and around the CrossFit Games. Because of the media personalities like Sevan and Pedro and Spin and Brian Friend and Chase Ingram and Bill Grundler, who are creating these storylines, talking about the athletes, hyping up the upcoming events. So when it comes to the World Fitness Project, we don't really know what to expect because we don't have anything to go off of except for their word. They also compared the amount of eyeballs on the live streams of some of these events, and Spin stating the very obvious, which is that the CrossFit Games draws in more viewers than anything out there. And Spin had said, look at 2023 as an example, and Matt O'Keefe came back in and something about concurrencies and I don't even know. Roll the tape.
Rogue historically has run concurrencies in very similar to the CrossFit Games. So, live viewership numbers opposed to views. I mean, I don't know what you're measuring that off of. Go look at 22, 21. I think you see different stories.
No,
the concurrency numbers are very close.
And so, of course, I'm watching this live, get on my computer, and I pull up day one of the 2021 CrossFit Games. It has 3.1 million views. And if you go pull up one event at Rogue Invitational, it had 711,000. And it wasn't even a CrossFit event. It was a strongman event. And if you look at all the other feeds right below it, it's 120,000, it's 90,000, and all of the CrossFit Games are in the millions. 2 million, 3 million. So Spin is correct. The CrossFit Games draws in more views to those streams than any other event out there. Arguably more than Rogue and Wodapalooza combined. I know everybody on the we're not so happy with CrossFit side is banding together to create this narrative and make it appear as if the CrossFit Games has lost its luster. I'm sorry. Stop. It's not happening. Again, you guys forget who your fans are. Your fans are people that are sitting in affiliates. The random person that comes across a live stream on YouTube maybe might buy a pair of Tia shoes from one of your athletes if they see them. Maybe they're scrolling on Instagram and they're like, oh, that dude's good looking, or damn, she's hot. Look at all that weight she's putting up. And they may give them a follow, but they're not buying tickets. They're not sitting down watching hours of a live stream. These people don't care. Your fans are people who live and breathe CrossFit. How many times do we have to go over this? You would think as somebody who is a part of many brands like HWPO and While on Earth, agent to these sports athletes, that he would know who they're marketing to. And I can't tell you how many people DM me and said, that guy gives me scammer vibes. That guy gives me creep vibes. I don't trust a word that comes out of his mouth.
Kill for you. I will maim for you. I will rape and pillage for you. You are going to be so happy you stayed with Bob Sugar because I am the fucking Terminator.
That's just the vibe I get. Shortly after this podcast, the Barbell Spin had posted this reel to his Instagram page.
And very well alongside each other. I think Will has made it very clear he doesn't want to compete. He wants these guys to be able to do both. Otherwise, he would have exclusively signed them into contracts that way.
You sure about that?
The World Fitness Project will have said that in 2026 we won't necessarily be able to do both. We will have a private contract where you can only do the complex.
Victor seemed very confident in what he was saying, as if he definitely knew that next season they would have to sign exclusive contracts and they would not be able to compete at the CrossFit Games. But Pedro did ask in an interview with Will and Jackson,
did you ever have exclusivity or consider having exclusivity, as in if you do this you can't do the games, or if you do the games you can't do this?
No way. I mean, there's just not enough competitive opportunity for these athletes to demand that of them.
And that is the same thing that we're hearing other athletes in different interviews kind of saying the same thing. So do they know that that's going to happen and they're just not saying it and they're going along with the lie? Or are they being misled? As a fan, I don't like it one bit. I would rather you have come out in your interviews and just said the line's drawn in the sand. Here's what we're doing. 2025, we're going to give all these people who we want to be the face of our sport these contracts. And then next year, if they make it in, we're going to make them be exclusive. At least if you had
These nuts.
to say that, I could have a little bit of respect for it. Barbell Spin had a show that evening with Tyler Watkins and JY, and they were talking a little bit about that.
We know that they were pushing for exclusivity in the beginning, and then they were like, well, never mind. After the athletes freaked out, I would imagine that it is something they're working towards.
And Spin said that Will, in fact, reached out to him. And here's what Spin had to say.
Well, I got a phone call right after that.
Oh, snap.
He said that they have not talked about 2026, that they're too busy focusing on 2025. However,
But
he's talked to agents and said, look, down the road, way down the road, if we were like super successful, maybe there's a chance we go to exclusivity at some point.
To me, it seems sneaky. To me, it seems shady. Wow, I feel like this is going to be the first 7 minutes of talking about the Barbell Spin. He's been busy and it's only 2 days into the year. Spin had posted an article about the upcoming Miami Wodapalooza. He had gotten a hold of the athlete handbooks that were sent out to the athletes competing there. Noted that there will be 6 total workouts for each athlete. There will be 3 workouts in the sand for the teams, 2 workouts in the sand for the individuals. Now we know a lot of the elite individuals are doing both, so they will have a good majority of their workouts in the sand. And I had mentioned that when I looked at the mock-ups that they posted on Instagram of the floor layout, that it looked to be that there was a lot more sand as compared to the SoCal event. I made mention of, the fact that the weather isn't always great in South Florida. There's a good chance that within the 3 or 4 days that Wodapalooza is going on, that one day it will rain. And Loud and Live actually came to that video and commented, not trolling you at all. You missed SoCal. It was on the beach and it went very well. Definitely wear shoes though. I want you guys to know that when I comment on something, it's usually I'm commenting the first thing that comes to my head. And I did in fact catch SoCal. I didn't miss the SoCal event. In fact, watched every minute of it. And aside from the wet floors at night with the athletes sliding around and the obvious difference in spectators that you would typically see at a Miami Wodapalooza, SoCal did go very well. Andrew Hiller put out a pretty good video over the holiday of the rise and fall of Craig Richey. There's some people in the comment section that clearly didn't even watch the entire video because they just think it's an attack of Andrew Hiller against Craig Richey. And it's not that at all. He basically breaks down all the data of all of the years, start from the beginning to present day. He uses what he calls the YWV.
Which brings us to the YWV, and that is a metric that we're going to continuously reference over the course of this, because in 2014, Craig Richey and Team Richey started their YouTube channel.
Dives really deep into it. He consumed a lot of Craig Richey content in order to put this video together, and the takeaway from that was he started off as a YouTube vlogger in the fitness space. I think he was doing bodybuilding with his sister, and then he moved over into the CrossFit space, and then he gained popularity from there. He was doing interviews with big name athletes. He even had an interview with Greg Glassman. And as we all know now, he recently did a video essentially trying to cancel Greg Glassman. It's crazy though, like the height of his popularity on YouTube when his videos were getting hundreds of thousands of views, he was big in the CrossFit space. And so it makes me wonder, somebody like me who I've been around CrossFit since 2010, I still had somehow never came across a Craig Richey YouTube video, which is wild. Who are his subscribers? Who are his followers? What else is new? Brian Friend is rumored to be doing the live stream at Wodapalooza this year, so that will be interesting there. I'm assuming he won't be doing it from his cell phone like he did at SoCal Wodapalooza.
The men are going to be fast coming back. So as I'm thinking about it, I'll need to be able to run with him. So I don't think I'm going to go too much further.
Or maybe he will. The guy knows his stuff, but the only thing I'd have to say about Brian, he just lacks personality. He's drier than a bagel chip. You know what I mean? CrossFit Games athlete Emma Cary recently posted to her Instagram page that she will be stepping away from competing in CrossFit. She broke out on the elite individual scene in 23, winning the Northeast semifinal, which is highly competitive, and then going on to place 8th at the CrossFit Games that year. And then 5 months later, in January, she won Wodapalooza. Shortly after Wodapalooza, she did a Mayhem Spotlight athlete conversation on their podcast. She said something along the lines like winning wasn't bringing her joy and she wasn't glorifying God the way that she wanted to. And I think in that moment when I watched that, I thought to myself, okay, yeah, she's probably going to be taking a step back. And then a couple weeks later, sure enough, she had posted to her Instagram that she was taking the 2024 season off competing. There's nothing in there that says that she is going to quit doing CrossFit altogether, but there's also nothing in there that says she's going to continue doing CrossFit because it's a wonderful way to keep a healthy mind and body. Either way, she is still very young. She's got a long future ahead of her, so we wish her the best. The Proven Throwdown kicked off on January 2nd. They posted the first 2 workouts to their Instagram page. Their first one is my jam, y'all. It's 10 rounds of, I think, 32 double unders and 8 alternating single arm double press. I'm going to do that one. Speaking of Proven, Tia released a video to her YouTube channel, similar to the behind the scenes high rocks that Proven Fitness had released. This one is just Tia. It shows their trip over to Australia. They hang out with Maddie and Jay at, I think, one of their parents' house or farm. A beautiful place. After I watch a video, I go to the comment section. And the first comment that I saw. Okay, now granted, the title of this video is slightly clickbait. And the reason I say that is because the title is My Switch from CrossFit to High Rocks First Race. If I don't know anything about anything and I read that title, that makes me think she quit CrossFit and she's now only exclusively doing high rocks. But I don't think that's the case. I still think that Tia is going to return, do the CrossFit Games this one year, and then potentially retire at that point. Because let's just be honest, she's won 7 already. Nobody's beating her. She is the best there ever is and ever will be. Oh, someone did comment, I'm confused by the video title. Did she announce she's quitting CrossFit Games to pursue high rocks? It's clickbait, you guys. It's clickbait for sure. She's competing at the games. But this person here, where is it? Here we go. Oh, it has 16 replies. 48 people liked it. Hillary Prevost, 5309, one day ago, says, everyone is, parentheses, understandably leaving CrossFit Games this year. It's bittersweet because I can't watch all my favorites in the same place anymore. Who is everyone? I know there have been a couple of athletes openly state that they will not be participating in the CrossFit Games season. Let's just say 5. That's not everyone. These people. Emma Lawson, Saxon Panchak, BKG, all the big ones have signed contracts to the new competition. The dates conflict with the standard games and the schedule beginning in August. They have all been announcing this week. Wow. You could not be more wrong. Saxon is the biggest advocate for CrossFit. The only ones who have said they are out are Emma McQuaid, Emma Tall, Chandler Smith, and maybe Vellner. But Vellner wouldn't even publicly say he won't do the CrossFit Games season. Move on! If you didn't see, Vellner sliced his leg. He sliced it good. A few stitches, no big deal. Now, in my last update, I had posted who I thought could potentially be one of the big investors for the World Fitness Project, that being Beth Gillette. Barbell Spin had posted an article. It's just way more in depth than what I had found. And one thing that he found that I didn't even think to look at was her CrossFit Games profile. Now, Beth has been doing CrossFit at least since 2016. That was the first year that she competed in the CrossFit Open. And each year she has improved her fitness year over year. And in 2024, she went to the Masters CrossFit Games and she competed in the 60 to 64 division. She placed 13th overall. And what a crazy small world coincidence. One of our female master athletes at my affiliate competed with her at that CrossFit Games in the same category. That is all for this dense update. Be sure to leave us a comment, like, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're into that sort of thing, you can head over to my Instagram where you can follow me there for all the latest happenings in the CrossFit community.